Welcome to Runako Universe. Of course, I am Runako coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. This is episode 8. It's also our Valentine's Day episode. That's why I'm dressed in full goth, because as someone with no love or no prospects in his life, I don't deserve to enjoy this day. And if you too are someone who is just really dry on Valentine's Day, please, I suggest you dress in a way that's going to put you in the background so you don't absorb any of the joy of the shiny people who have love in their lives. That's your role. We're meant to be sad today. Please embrace it as much as you can. This is our Valentine's Day episode. It's episode number 8, and as you know, I know everything, and you and everyone out there, you know nothing. So it's really my job to share my knowledge and help us all kind of navigate this world that we live in, and help us with etiquette and just how to figure out life. So I stay abreast of as much information that's happening and out there as I can. Right now, I'm reading Japanese news a lot, and I saw an article asking why so many Japanese marriages are sexless and what you can do about it. That was the title of the article, and I didn't see the need to read further. I knew the answer. Personally, for me, what I can do about it, I gotta get out there and start fucking people's wives. And you, if you are out there, I suggest you do the same. If you're in Japan and you're really asking yourself, what can I do to contribute to Japanese society? Ask yourself, is the job that you're doing right now truly contributing to society? Do you have kids? Are you contributing to helping their population grow? If you feel like you're not really adding more value to society, how about considering fucking someone's spouse? As the article claims, I assume the article is explaining the fact that there's a lot of marriages where there's just no one getting their bits touched. And I think you can feel that when you go out on the train and people are standing there, they're on the street, everyone's looking very gloomy. How about go out there? And this is not just for men, by the way. This is gender, non-gender, all inclusive. You want to fuck somebody's wife, you want to fuck somebody's husband, you want to fuck somebody's they, them. Let's really get out there and get some holes on poles and poles in holes. And it don't matter if it's yours, because the owners or the people who signed up for them aren't making use of it. Let's get out there and get some good energy and really improve this country that we all love and call home. Another major role I think I have to inhabit as the person who knows everything is helping find guidelines for social media. So much of our life is on social media these days, and no one's really stepping up and being like, okay, more of this, less of this, because we have the algorithms pushing things sometimes that we might not genuinely want more of. So here is my social media advice for today. We need to stop these older people in videos going, my Gen Z employee or my Gen Z child told me to make this video. It's enough. We have enough of that. Like, we've seen it. Initially, it was like just some man working in a printing press or someone working in a library, and it was cute. But we've now had enough. These, my Gen Z employee or my Gen Z child told me to make this video or edited this video, reels on Instagram and these TikTok videos, they are not good. Your parent or your elder co-worker, they're not good at being recorded. They don't act well. They're constantly staring into the camera. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's gone past cute, and now it's kind of gross. Also, old people, get off of Instagram and TikTok. Please go to your retirement home, your online retirement home, Facebook. Please find yourself where you should be, back in Facebook, and consider actually an actual retirement home. I've heard good things about retirement home. I've heard the STD rates, they are shooting up, which means people out there fucking. You could be having a good time, but here you are doing a dumb dance on TikTok trying to sell more food in your restaurant. Give that restaurant to your kids and go. Listen, I know you might have some problem with your bits and bobs because you're old, but sex science has come so far. Sex science has come so far that at this point, I think they should stop researching sex and just send all of those researchers over into cancer or solving world hunger or one of those problems. We don't need you here, and you can be somewhere else having a grand time. If you need something to make you hard, we got pills that'll make you so hard you call the ambulance. You dry, you need something to make you wet. We have enough lube and flavors and types that you could just bathe in it all together. You put it on you, you put it in you, you put it in your nose hole, you put it in your eye, do whatever you want. Just please give us a break on the internet, old people. I respect you. You have a lot to offer society, but not this. All right? And young people encouraging that foolishness, please stop. Please. I don't think I count as a young person anymore. So I'm in the middle, so I can really look at both sides and be like, both sides are on shit. The people who are encouraging the older people and the older people who are allowing themselves to be convinced. Let's move past that point as a society. It had its moment. It's over now. All right, let's keep moving on. I think I've solved that. Another major issue that's coming up a lot, especially as like people are looking for more jobs and there's just so much tension happening in the world and opportunities are kind of fizzling. And we're asking about who's being punished for doing certain things. There's a lot of readjusting happening in the world. And within all of that, there's still a lot of nepotism happening in society, which frustrates a lot of people. Most recently, Michael Jordan's son, was stopped in a car. He was driving drunk and they found cocaine allegedly in the vehicle, and he hopped out and he was like, you know who I am? I'm Michael Jordan's son. And it just had me thinking about, like, if I was the policeman in that situation, how do you kind of get over that nepotism hump? And the answer is actually fairly simple. It's right in front of you all the time. Nepotism only works if you know the information. Truly, if at any point in time you, in the execution of your duties, are faced with some kind of famous person or person with power trying to sway that over you, all you do is pretend you don't know. That's all. Literally, that's all. Like, if I was a police officer, immediately I would have acted like a Nigerian immigrant. I would have gone, who is Michael Jordan? I do not know him. In Nigeria, we do not have the basketball. And I believe that's a clear shot all the way through. All right, you know what? That in my head, like when I planned this bit, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to just be straight up. It was a lot funnier. I thought I'd get to do the Nigerian voice and it would pull up the entire thing. But I think I put too much sauce on the front of it. And then it just collapsed. And I always get really nervous right before I have to do any kind of voice. I'm horrible at impressions. And I think my Nigerian is not the worst that I do. It's probably not Nigerian. It's just nondescript kind of racist African. But I chicken out all the time just before. So I don't go for it, which is worse than... I think if you have to choose between going for an impression that's kind of shit and half stepping it is always the worst choice. So you know what? We tried something, it didn't work. We keep it moving. Another thing we do here at Runako Universe is we have Runako's Media Corner, where I kind of talk to you about TV shows or music that I've been into and give you a recommendation and a quick kind of synopsis. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show, and I don't want to talk so much about the halftime show in particular. People have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I personally respect that he was like, yo, come in here to party, and that's not what I want to do, and I have had enough of a good year that I can choose to do things however I want to at this point, and I can't help but respect that as someone who respects art. What I really want to comment on is we're kind of leaning back into the social media topic again, where it's just too much of middle-aged white men with beards breaking down things that are related to black culture. And it's not just that they're doing it, but it's how they're doing it. Like, the camera is this close to their face and they're giving you sincere eyes the whole time. And it's almost like if a hotep morphed into a white person, because it's a lot of hands. So what Kendrick Lamar was doing here. And I just want to say to the guys that are doing that, listen, Bobby, Kenneth, Tyler, Keisha from work ain't gonna fuck you when she see this video. That's just the truth of it. You gotta stop. Find something else. Go have this conversation with your friends and family. They are probably the ones who you really need to like have this full discussion with. The internet don't need to see it, buddy. It's not coming off genuine, and it's making everybody uncomfortable. Why are you so close to the camera? Why you gotta look? Why you gotta be looking into? So when black people were struggling, and the flag shows you the way we feel, the flag going down the staircase, and what they need to understand. You're making I feel like you're rubbing your hand on my thigh, personally. I'm not even getting into the race weirdness of it. I just feel like you're rubbing me up, and I'd like you to stop. It's too much, it's too intense, and we don't need you doing it. There's enough of it happening on the internet. There's something else. You don't need to go to a retirement home quite yet. You don't need to go to Facebook, but you should be making preparatory plans. That's where you should be, not making this fucking video. There's other things in your life to worry about. Please go worry about those things. Do you talk to your kids still? You out here talking about what Kendrick Lamar's thing meant for black people and breaking it down. It's weird. It's weird. Stop it. Please. Okay. So we usually end the show with Ask Runako. I ask people to write in. You too can message me on my Instagram, Runako Universe, or you can email runakouniverse@gmail.com and let me know any question that you have about anything in the world of the universe. As I mentioned before, I know everything, and of course you know nothing, so you have questions. Please write in. Our question today comes from Dylan M, and Dylan asks, as a Kanye fan, how do I deal with the wild shit he's been saying online? This one is complex for me because I am more than am, but was a real deal diehard Kanye. Like when I was in high school and university, all my male friends had this whole discussion. It was a big debate in my friend group whether or not I would suck Kanye West dick if he asked me to. And the entire time I was like, I definitely would not. But you know what? Like, hindsight is sucky. And I wouldn't do it because I'm attracted to him in any way, but I was just so grateful for the art that he put out into the world at the time that if he was like, I really need this done for me, I'd have handled my guy. Sometimes you just gotta show your gratitude. I believe in having an attitude of gratitude as a man and as a person. But recently he's been kind of wilding out and doing a bunch of things. My solution for dealing with the Kanye West problem is this. I think we need to find 4 priests who are also medically trained and they're also gym rats. Just some buff father doctors. And I don't think it works one approach for Kanye anymore. I think they need to beat him up while doing an exorcism, while giving him medication. I think if we've been trying too many things separately. Like we try to pray for him. Like people try to contact him and talk to him and give him speeches. And he was medicated at a point and that didn't work out for him either. It's a lot of different strategies, but I don't know if we've tried making a whoop ass exorcism anti-bipolar medication gumbo. I think that's what we need. We need a strategic gumbo. Push everything together at the same time, So yeah, that's what I think as a Kanye fan. You should start scouring the world for doctors who are also priests, ordained Catholic priests, so they can do exorcisms. And they're also very, very buff, because we need a group of people who are going to beat Kanye while giving him an exorcism, while giving him medication. And I think that'll help put him back on the road to sanity somehow. Okay, that's the silly answer. All right. I actually have a real answer for this because I genuinely am a Kanye fan who's loved so much of the art that he's done and has helped me survive so much of my teenage years and even moving to Japan. Like my first few years in Japan, I would be just riding the bus back home and just very quietly just listening to Last Call in my ear. And a lot of those songs still kind of motivate me to live the way that I choose to live and make decisions that aren't always safe. So I do reflect a lot on what it means to still have an appreciation for him. I think the guiding light for it is this. When you think about Kanye West and as a Kanye West fan or a Kanye West appreciator, you feel kind of conflicted. Consider that if Kanye is truly a guiding light for you, as I feel that he has been for me for a lot of my life, is he would never bend over or twist and turn his own morals to stay aligned with somebody just because they're famous or popular. He's famously known for breaking ties with people who he thinks are going against him, no matter how deep their relationship is, no matter how much power the person has. So for me, I don't fuck with a lot of shit that he says. It's a horrible lot of the things that he says, and I kind of just have a long time ago divested myself from him. He feels to me like a cousin who went to jail for doing some heinous shit. I still love you as a cousin, but you really should be in jail. And that's honestly that's how I feel about it. I used to, on some level, in conversations with people, have these long protracted discussions about the fact that a lot of the anti-Semitic stuff and even the like slavery comments and that sound anti-black, a lot of the things that he says are not genuine feelings that he has, but they're things that are said to rile people up or to pull certain crowds or to push certain crowds away, because I think he loves to push people away, by the way. Whenever I see Kanye wilding out, it reminds me of when I was talking to multiple girls and one of them hurt my feelings, and I just start trying to say wild shit to the other ones to see how much I can say before they all push away, because the first one made me feel worthless, so I just kind of start wilding out on everybody else, and eventually I'm just alone by myself and kind of like, self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, nobody wanted me anyway to start with. That's what I see a lot of the times when he starts to wild out. And I used to have all this logical explanation for it, but recently I read a quote that went something like, historians have given a name to the people who didn't necessarily believe in the Nazi party's ideals or didn't necessarily hate Jewish people, but they went along with it because they benefited from it. And the word that historians use for those people is Nazi. When we look back on it, there's no delineation between what your purpose was if you contributed to it. And this is not necessarily only or specifically about the anti-Semitic things that he says, just in terms of the role that he has chosen to play in society, like an agitator very often. I feel like I love that he thinks he can think his own way and go his own way, and I still respect him on some level for doing that. But the way you go about doing that, at the end of the day, the repercussions and the way that impacts people and the way that makes people feel and the people that draws to you and the people that pushes away from you, that all falls on you. And so if you don't stand for what he stands for, to answer the question, divest yourself from him. And as a Kanye fan, that's exactly what Kanye would do. And that's all I have for you. This has been Runako Universe. Remember, I know everything, you know nothing, and I'm out. Peace.